number one thing is, where do I get help with my technology needs here at Howard? Okay. So if you go into Canvas, okay, and this is Canvas, there are two great sources for help. The first is right here, this Canvas orientation. Okay, so your Canvas orientation, if you're new to Howard or just want to get refreshed on what Howard does, if you're a freshman and kind of want to figure out how it's going to help you in high school, you can start with this Canvas orientation. The other place to go and get help is by clicking the question mark help on your navigation bar on the left, and then scrolling down. And for students and parents, you have this student technology resources. And this is a great page that our tech department's put together with a lot of resources to help you out. Particularly for you to look at are the Canvas orientation, which I referred to at the top. And let's look at that for 1 minute. In this orientation, you have videos. So there's a high school orientation video. I recommend everybody take a few minutes, watch that, check it out, and just learn about Canvas. Even if you've used Canvas all last year for our virtual and or hybrid times extensively, there may be things in that video that might help you. And then after that, there are a series of student guides. Everything from how to navigate, how to set your calendar, quizzes, how to get support, so there are, as you can see, 12 different things there. And then if your parents have questions, there's also some things for them. So that's the Canvas orientation part. The next part, of course, you're on your Chromebook, right? There's a great Chromebook resources page. So when we go to the Chromebook resources page, all right, it's a module, and there's a whole list of things to help you with your Chromebook. One thing I really want to show you that a lot of people have an issue with, particularly if you're at home and your Chromebook's not operating properly, it's not functioning right, it's slow, it's not connecting. Go to this Chromebook system errors. Of course, if it's not connecting, you might have to go on your phone or another device to get these instructions. Okay. And there are two procedures. There's a refresh procedure and a reset procedure. Okay. I recommend you go right to the reset procedure, and you can just follow these step-by-step directions. There's also a short film. Okay, this gets your Chromebook reset and back to factory settings. With those resets, just so you know, if you are in the school and you need a reset immediately, you have to come to the media center because we have to connect your Chromebook a different way. But at home, it'll work just fine for you, and you reset and everything goes back to normal. So let's go back to our resources page real quick. All right. If you scroll to the top, there is a common issues page. So when you're having a problem, oh my God, it's saying I need a update on Chromebook. You would go here, and it gives you complete instructions on how to update your Chromebook. Okay, so pretty easy right there. You can do that yourself and get the latest version of the Chromebook OS. And then finally on this page, and this is a long part of this, down here there are a lot of different resources on everything. So stuff on your Active Directory account, we'll be resetting passwords, things like that. We'll talk about that. Email, feedback, Google Meets, your G Suite, any of these types of things that you use regularly is listed down here. You can get help, and there's also a link to all the modules. So that's a great place to start when you can't really figure out what to do. Is again, that's right off of this left navigation bar you have here on the left, and you're going to hit the question mark, and that will take you there. So I would go there first. That's why that is the number one recommendation for technology. Okay, the number two recommendation for technology has to do with your calendar. So we all have calendars. A couple different places the events from those calendars show up are, of course, on the calendar. I'll come back to this in a moment. Also on your dashboard, if you look over here on the right, you have a to-do list. Okay, and those are going to be assignments and things you have to do for classes. And then you're also going to have a list of coming up events. Okay. And those come right off of your calendar. Okay. Now, your calendar, and let's take a look. There's two ways to get to your calendar. One is directly off the left navigation bar. There's a calendar icon here, and there's a place to view your entire calendar right here. So if we open up my calendar, okay, you'll see I have some events. And let's kind of look at the interface real quick so everybody understands. This is your calendar. You can change your view. So you have a week view. So this would be this view. All right. You have the monthly view that we were just in. And then you also have an agenda or list view that lists everything that's going on. Okay. So you can pick which view you want. Let's go back to the month and understand how the calendar works. If you look down here under this calendar's drop down, you will see, and I have a lot of classes listed, so you'll see all your classes and you'll see any communities you're a part of and any clubs. If this is colored in, that means any event from that calendar will show up. If it's grayed out, that means events won't show up. So let me show you one thing. I know, for example, that I have two assignments in my video class that are not showing up. So if I go down to video production and I click video production, now those two events show up. And the other side of that too is with all this stuff, sometimes your calendar could get cluttered, especially if you're in a couple of different clubs. This is when the student community gets busy and it just becomes too much for you. You can go down and you can uncheck one of the calendars that you are subscribed to for whatever reason. So, for example, let me find it. I had it here for a second ago. So I'm subscribed to this student community, our HHS. Well, that's River Hill, and I don't want that. Okay, I'm on that for a special reason, but I don't want to see all River Hill's events. I could care less what happens at River Hill. So I get rid of that, and those events disappear. This is very important because you want to make sure that all of your classes, at the very least, are colored in and showing up on your calendar, because this is how you'll access different events and assignments from your teacher. So if assignments for a class aren't showing up, go here and make sure they're colored in. If you're getting too much information, go here and start to remove some of the things that you don't need to see every day, and you can always go back and check and uncheck those things. So that is your calendar. My next technology recommendation has to do with communication. So communication is very, very important, both in your classes and socially here at school, connecting with clubs, connecting with what's going on around the school, knowing the other types of things you need to do to continue to be ready to graduate. And Canvas is an awesome tool to help us to communicate. It has a lot of great communication features, from announcements to the Canvas inbox, to the to-do list, to our coming up. It helps tell us when we have assignments that are due, when we have meetings. We can make our own to-dos and communicate with people very easily. But to help us communicate, there's a couple things we need to do, and that's what we call notifications. So you all should be very familiar with notifications from different apps and your smartphones that notify you of the things that are important to you and you want to know. So the same principle is in Canvas. Just to give you an idea of what a notification might look like. All right, so if you look at my email here, right here I have an email that says it's from the Instructional Technology and Library Community. Okay, and it's the body of what is actually an announcement. So that was important to me to get those announcements from that community, so I have my notifications set to get that. And let's take a quick second and see how we do that. The first thing we want to do is go into our account, which is where our icon or avatar is at the top, and we click on that and open it up. All right. And we want to go to settings first because we want to make sure we're going to get notified in the right places. All right. And over here, if you look at ways to contact, okay, We have email addresses. So I have my Howard County Public Schools email address in here, and I have my cell phone number so that for certain types of things, I can actually get a text message when it's happening. All right, and you can enter different email addresses in here if you have multiple email addresses, if you want to use your personal or your school email address, which is going to be addressed in another technology suggestion, or if you want to use your cell phone, you can do that. So you need to set this up first simply by adding the email address or adding another contact method and saving that, and then those ways to contact are set. After you do that, you actually go in here. We're still in our settings or our account area, and we're going to go into notifications. Okay, and this page shows us, we call them global notifications, because these global notifications are applied to every course that we have. And there's different course activities. So every class you're in is a course. Every club you sign up for is like a course. The student community is like a course. That's what we call them. And I have it set up here, so that I get different types of notifications for different things. So as you can see, I have a little calendar here to get emailed due dates. Well, I only want a weekly summary of my due dates. That's me. You might want a daily summary. Okay. You might want to get notified immediately when an assignment is made and what its due date. Okay. Changes to grading policies. Okay. But then you go down here to announcements. I want to be notified immediately. And I also want to be notified by both email and by text message when there's an announcement. I also want my announcements. I don't know if you'll have that. That's more of an administrative function. Now, if you notice up here under course content, it says I want a text message. Okay, I want a push notification. I don't want that. All I have to do is click it, and I'm going to turn notifications off for that. Okay. Additionally, if I come down here, all right, under submission comment. So if there's an assignment and you have a submission comment, I want to read those submission comments that my teachers are making daily. So I have this set for daily summary. But over here, I have nothing. And let's say, okay, I want that off. So I keep that turned off, or I can click it and turn it on to be notified immediately. Okay. Or I can set it also to be added in as push notifications are done immediately. All right, I want that off. All right, but let's say here on submission comment, I only want a daily, I want to be notified immediately. So I click notify immediately and it changes to the bell. So those are global notifications, and they apply to every course that I'm enrolled in Canvas. Now, let's say for my video class right here, my video course, I want my notifications to be a little bit different. All right, so I'm going to open this course up. And when I get to the course dashboard, the front page, down here, you see a view course notifications. If I click on that, this gives me options to update the notifications only for this course. So right now, it shows what my global notifications are. But let's say for this class, okay, I want an immediate notification of every discussion that's opened in this class. So I'm going to go to there. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to change it to notify immediately. Now, for this class only, I'll be notified immediately of any discussion. For all of my other classes, I would be notified on a weekly summary. Okay, so you can change that, and that helps you craft the types of notifications you get when you get them, because as important it is to get the notifications, it also is important to control the amount of communication we get, and we don't get too much where we're looking at stuff that's really not relevant to what we need to do or want to do, and we miss the important stuff that we need we need to receive. So that's notifications, that's communication, that's very important. Okay, to go along with notifications in Canvas, I wanted to talk for a minute about email. So every student here at Howard High School or in Howard County Public Schools has an email account. Okay, and that is through the county, and they can use that email account for school related things to receive your Canvas notifications. If you're a junior or senior, it's a great way to start to reach out to colleges and go through your college application process. If you're in a mentorship program or Jumpstart or something like that, it's a great email address to use to communicate with them. It's a great benefit we have here, and I would recommend that you set your email up, because I know many of you, your personal email may be clogged full of things that are relevant to outside of school, and we don't want to be missing important emails and important things having to do with school and what we need to do as high school students. And the other thing is, it looks very professional because it is a Howard County email address, and it has a Howard County email tag, and your name is very formal. So that's a positive thing. So let's talk for a minute about accessing your email. Like everything else off the HCPSS.me menu, okay, there's a place down here for Office 365 email. Unfortunately, I can't show you physically how to set it up. I can show you where you can learn how to set it up, because if I click this right now, it will open up my email. So to learn more about email, what you need to do is from your dashboard and from the left navigation menu, go to Help. And if you remember at the beginning of this, we talked about where to get help. Okay, so we go to the Student Technology Resources. And when we go down, there's an email area here. So when I click on this email area, it's going to open up a small module about email. All right, and this module has a lot of interesting things about email. Deleting malicious mail rule, phishing emails. So if you need information about that, it's that. But we want to go right here to the top one, O365 student email. And here's a complete page with directions on the Office 365 email system, why we have it, what your email looks like. There's some discussion of the difference between your Canvas messages and email. And then here it shows you how to access your email. And there's some tutorials on setting up your email for the first time. Okay, and then also a nice video to help you first to get set up, to create email signatures, organize your email, and prevent spam and phishing attacks. So I would go here and get your county email set up, get your school system email set up and ready to go. And it's up to you, but that would be a great one to set your Canvas notifications to come to. And they probably are already set there by default. Okay. So that is email, very important in this day and age. Okay, and finally, the last thing I want to discuss with you are how to reset your password. Okay, often we need to reset our password, and that could be for a variety of reasons. We just want a new password. We felt we've had this one a long time. Potentially, our passwords have become compromised. You think another student has figured it out, or the county occasionally will determine it's been compromised and make you change it. Sometimes you just plain forget your passwords. If you're like me, you have hundreds of different accounts and passwords for each one. So we need to be able to change our password. And that's very easy. Again, it's off our HCPSS.me menu. Towards the bottom, there's a place to change your password. Okay, you would put in your current username and your current password. Okay, click next, and it'll run you through some things to change your password. Okay, now, if you forgot your username or password, same place, HCPSS.me, we go to forgot password or username. We're going to click on that, And through this self-service is a whole menu of different items to help us out. So for you as a student, forgetting your password, you would click on Forget Password, have a username, and use a recovery email. Currently, your recovery email would be your parents' family file email address, and you can also go in and change that if you wanted to your county email address. So very important to know where to reset your password. You can do that anytime. You don't have to be in school. It doesn't have to be a school day or during a school time. So if you need to access something, you can reset your password or get a reminder if you forgot it. If that doesn't work, you can discuss that with your teacher. Your teachers do have access to help you change passwords, and if they can't help you, you come down here and see us in the Media Center.